Hello, Bots and Books fans, this is Scorp1701, and tonight we are going to be taking a look at the Transformers War for Cybertron Trilogy Kingdom Blaster. This is a Voyager figure, and he is out on shelves right now, and he is much anticipated because everybody's said for the last few years that we needed an updated blaster. Now we've got a couple, but I think they were a bit lackluster, but this one I think is gonna be what everybody's been looking for. And without further ado, let's jump in and take a look at it, starting with the box. You can see it's in your standard Kingdom box. You can see Autobot Blaster and Eject there at the top. You can see Blaster sticking out there, Takara Tomy, Transformers Generations, Transformers Hasbro, nice picture of Blaster in his boombox mode there, Transformers Kingdom, War for Cybertron Trilogy, 8+ Hasbro. On this side of the box, you have a nice picture of Blaster looking all big and bad. He is a Voyager class. On the other side of the box, if I can turn it around, you have the standard Kingdom artwork, and you can see Megatron, Galvatron, some other Beast Wars, Prime, and Bumblebee, and a couple other Autobots in there, and that is pretty cool. And on the top of the box, you just get an Autobot symbol and Transformers War for Cybertron. On the bottom of the box, just a bit of credits for the box. No one really cares about that. And finally, on the back of the box, you can see that you have Blaster, and he's a robot. And then he has Eject that pops out of his chest, and then he turns into a boom box. And then you have Eject here, who is a little robot, and a tape, so that is pretty cool. More credits for the box, and that is it for the box. No one wants to see Blaster in the box. I know I don't, so let's get him out and see what he can do. And here we have Blaster out of the box. And out of the box, he stands at just under 7 inches tall, and he comes with a lot of cool stuff. First off, he comes with a set of instructions that will help you flop him from a robot into a boombox, and from a boombox into a robot. Then he comes with this awesome collector's card. So let's zoom in real quick, take a look at it before we move on. And it appears to be Unicron, the Chaos Bringer. And he looks really new, cool, very holographic-y. And you see Kingdom there at the bottom. And when you peel this off, not only do you get a cool sticker, but you also get a picture of Unicron in planet mode, and that is really, really cool. So that is the card. All of these Kingdom figures come with cards, so that is neat. I think actually the core class doesn't, but that's okay. We'll get this on somewhere and I'll stick it around, but that is cool for cards. All right. And finally, we have Blaster himself, and he has his laser gun and his tape minion, so that is cool. But before we look at everything else, I want to take a look at Blaster himself. And coming real close in on Blaster, I just love the way this guy looks. He is G1 Blaster to a T. And starting off with his head, I love this head design. I'm glad they gave it to us like the G1 cartoon. A lot of the times I'm worried that they'll give us a Blaster with the G1 toy head, and I just can't stand that head. Not that there's anything wrong with it, it's just they had so much of a different head in the cartoon as opposed to the toy. I mean, if the toy head was the one they used for the cartoon, I think I would have liked it more, but because whenever I think of Transformers, I think of the G1 cartoon, this is the head that I always look for, and it is beautiful. Let's get a little closer up on the head, and you can see that it is done in a nice silver for the forehead, nice gray for the face, blue eyes painted in there. His helmet is all red. It is not painted, it's just plastic. And you got little ears coming out the side. I really like that. On the back, you see a little more design. Nothing too great in there, but, you know, it's a Blaster head. Coming down, you have a nice boxy yellow for his chest. Nice Autobot symbol sticking out there. Let's zoom out just a hair because it's going to get a lot more detailed, because you got a dark blue translucent for the plastic on his chest here. Nice gray for the buttons. And coming to his chest, you have a black and red color scheme. You got the black for the top of the shoulders here, some red for the shoulders, black again for the elbows, red forearms, black again for the hand. So I love that color scheme. And then that will bring you down to the pelvis. A lot of interesting detail on the pelvis. Again, no paint, just all red plastic. Oh, little thing I mentioned about this hand, his right hand, he does have a finger that's molded into like a button press, so he can actually push his own button. So that is really neat. I think Soundwave from the Netflix series had a similar gimmick. So coming back down to the legs have a nice motif too with black and gray, but it's broken up here at the hips with a little bit of red, and you get some detail there. Then you got the black legs, and then coming down to the main feet detail, mostly gray plastic. You got black for what will be his speakers, and then more black for the feet. That is pretty neat. On the bottom of the feet, you got a little bit of holes, but I don't think there's anything that they could peg into as of yet with Transformers. Coming to the side, nothing new or interesting there. You do have the black here for the transform and the handle of the boombox, and then on the back he's just basically all red. You do get a little more red down here at the bottom, but again, that's for transform to cover up some parts, I think. So yeah, that is pretty cool, and that is what your blaster looks like. Moving on. And for our articulation, starting at the head can go around 360 degrees. It can kind of look up, it can kind of look down, it can kind of wiggle and waggle, but there is not a lot of give to it. So other than all the way around, you're not going to get much play out of the head, but that's okay. Coming to the shoulders can come up, they can go down, they can go all the way around 360 degrees, and they do have kind of a bicep swivel, but it also carries through to the forearm, so it goes all the way around 360 degrees, bringing down to your elbow, which gives you a little over 90 degrees there. So that is interesting and good. And that will bring you down to the hand. There is no rotation in the hand, but it does kind of come in and out, and that is basically due to transformation, so there's not a lot of give there. All right, coming to the chest. We all know that Blaster and Soundwave have a chest gimmick, and the articulation in his chest is that his chest will pop open, and there is a button right here, and when you push it out, the chest will pop. Oh, that is so cool. Click, click. Only thing I don't like is maybe they could have hid the button a little better, because if you look at it from certain angles, there's this big gap, but beggars can't be choosers, I guess, and they gave it to us the way it opened, so I'll be happy with that. All right. That will bring us to his waist articulation, and he does have waist articulation where he can go around 360 degrees, which is cool. And then that will bring us down to his legs, and the legs can go up a little bit and they can go back. Now, if you pull this panel on his back up, you do get a little more distance in the leg, so that is cool. So there you got that. And then they can actually go out to the side. That is cool. You do have a thigh rotation, which is like right below the thigh. It's more like a upper knee rotation. It goes all the way around 360 degrees, and that will bring you to his knee. And the knee is just almost straight out 90 degrees. No more, no less, but that's okay. And then that will bring you down to his foot. And the foot does have an inside rocker, so that is good. And it does have some toe articulation if you want to move the toes up and back down, but that's just, again, for transformation. Okay, and that is going to be your articulation for Blaster. Moving on. And for accessories, Blaster comes with a blaster, and this is a very nice laser rifle. It is very reminiscent of the G1 blaster rifle, where it's very long, it has a nice stock here and a scope attached to it, and it's got a lot of detail in there. It's not painted, it is just black plastic, but it is really, really nicely done. And Blaster can hold this, and you could zap some Decepticons with it at his leisure. And in boombox mode, you can store it on the back of Blaster's boombox, so that is pretty neat right there. And yeah, that is his Blaster. Moving on. And that brings us to Eject, one of Blaster's cassette minions. And you can see here he is done in a nice translucent blue. You got a little bit of gold for some chest detail and some pelvic detail there. A lot of detail in the mold, but you can't really make it out that well unless you get some light hitting it on it real well. And then on the back, you can just see some plastic that holds it all together and some screws. And that is pretty much it. For comparison, here he is with the Laserbeak tape from the Netflix Soundwave. They are the same scale and dimensions. And here he is with the Ravage tape. And again, same dimensions and such. I wish Eject had a little more tape detail on him like Ravage does here. It kind of looks like an actual tape, but this one, not too much. And what you can do with him will bring out Blaster. And when you have Blaster here, all you have to do is push the button on his chest, which will eject his tape port, and you can just put Eject in here and he fits nice and snug. Let's see, get him sitting straight, there you go, and then it will just close up and he'll be in there. So yeah, so Blaster at his leisure can kind of pull him out and say, no wait, two could play, and then kind of pushes tape, come on, push it, and then it will come up. You know, that's it. And it doesn't like eject or anything, but it just opens up, and then he could have to, you know, pretend whoo, he pops out of there. So that is really cool when it comes to him. All right, getting this guy transformed, all you have to do is take these legs, pull them down and out, like so, and then you're going to kind of turn it around to where the inside part is facing back, and then same over here, pull that down, pull it down, around, and twist it. So there you go, and then you got some legs there. Get some focus in, see what we're doing. Then you're going to pull the arms out from the side, just twist them and then kind of pull them down. There is actually no hand, it's just kind of molded in there, so there's nothing that pulls out. You just got a little mold for a hand. And the same thing on this side, just twist it around, and there you go with the hand. And then the hardest part for me has been to get this head out. So turn it around, the head is right here, and you kind of got to use your nail or something to pull it up. There we go. Hey, it worked good that time. I like it. And then twist the head around until you have his face. And there is Eject in his little robot mode. And he's cute. He's, you know, a tape bot, and I don't know, you gotta have him if you have Blaster or Soundwave. So yeah, he's all right. He doesn't really do much, but he's slightly articulated. Arms can go around 360 degrees here. He does have a bicep swivel all the way around, more of a forearm though. Elbow bend, kind of 90 degrees if you want to look at it that way. And so that is pretty much it. No ab crunch unless you want to count the leg hinge, and then they can go forward and back. So that is neat. Legs up, back, and out to the side. So that is cool. You do get a little rotation down here at the leg with the knee. And the knee, if you want to call that, it can go more than 90 degrees because of transformation, and that's pretty much it for your articulation for this guy. And he's really cool. I like him. And if you want to compare him with some other tape bots, here is Laserbeak, like we saw before. So, you know, a little Laserbeak. So that is cool. Get the focus. What is wrong with my focus? Focus. There we go. And then that, so you got the Laserbeak there. And then you also have the Ravage. Oops, sorry, Laserbeak, he just fell over. But anyway, that is going to be your comparisons and your transform for Eject. And here he is. We'll put him next to Blaster for a second. And we'll see what that looks like. Pulling out. Yay! So he's just a little fellow, but that's okay. They're supposed to be little. They're tapes. And that is going to be eject. Moving on. And full comparison, here you have Blaster with Earthrise Prime, Earthrise Ironhide, Siege Sideswipe, and Earthrise Cliff Jumper. All my red bots. Ooh, I love red. But you can see Blaster is about the size of Prime, and he dwarfs the other Autobots. And that's how it always was in the cartoon, and so I'm glad that they kept that consistency. So, yeah, that is some cool comparisons. Moving on. And for the comparison everybody wants to see, here you have Blaster with the Netflix Soundwave, and they are really, really nice figures. I'm sad that Soundwave is a bit smaller than Blaster. I think they should be about the same height, but it is what it is again. And still, these are two very awesome figures, and I am very happy to have both of them in my collection. All right, moving on. And full transformation, please note I don't necessarily go by the way the instructions tell you to do it, but we will get where we need to be by the end of the segment, I promise. Alright, so first off, what I like to do is fold up the toes. Need to get those folded up, and then turn these speakers to the other side, so you have like 3 little lines. That is neat. Do that. And now a little bit of prep work with the arms. Pull the hand all the way out so it's facing the other way, and then you're going to twist the arm around, and then you're going to fold it back in on itself to where that fist is now facing out on the top part, which is nice. Do that again on the other side. Fold the hand out, turn the arm so it will fold in on itself like such. And then there you have where you need to be. All right, looking good so far. We will go ahead and put Blaster's head away, pull back this section on his back, fold the head backwards, and close it up in there. All right, good. Now, we will move the chest all the way around to the back, and that will put us here. And then we will open up these panels here on the foot to bring them out, and then once you open up the panels, there's another tab right here that will need to come up like so, and like so, and then turn the foot to the outside so you will have this big section facing you like that. All right, now this is the crucial part. We are going to bring the foot up, and you'll see a tab right here, and that tab will fold up into the hand, so you want to kind of make sure it's in place like such, and then you can go ahead and fold the foot over to the side. All right, and that will fold right in there. Make sure that the hand gets some clearance, because there is a hole for the hand to go into, and if you don't, it's going to get stuck on the outside and it won't go in properly. So what is going on here? There we go. All right, it will snap into place, and that's one side. Sorry. All right, and then same thing for this other side. Pull it up to where your tab here is into the bottom of your arm, and then fold the rest of the foot up and into the port, and it will kind of connect. And then you can put this middle tab here down. It'll be some tabs here and ports here and here. So that will come down, and that will click into place. Click, click. I missed that one. We have to bring it back up. All right, why did we miss this one? Did we not turn it enough? Oh yeah, okay, it's not turned in enough. So there, and click and click. All right, and there you're gonna have Blaster. It's not in all the way. There we go. There you go. Now you have a perfectly good rectangle. All right. So the last thing we need to do is, when we get Blaster in this position, is bring up the handle of the boombox by just pulling it out on both sides, and then turning it in and connecting it like such. Like such? Like such. Aha! Alright. And there you have Blaster in his boombox mode. And it's a nice boombox mode. There's not really any need to like clean it up or anything. If you get it where it's supposed to be, it's going to be pretty sturdy. So taking a look at it, you have a nice gray on the outside, some blacks for the speakers here. Little details here, a lot of buttons right there, and the eject button still works in boombox mode, so that is really cool. A lot of detail here, more buttons and knobs on the side, speakers and stuff here, the feet not any too great. You got the handle there at the top, and on the back you just have regular Blaster stuff, so nothing too crazy. All right, and that is Blaster in his boombox mode. Moving on. And for comparison, here you have Blaster in boombox mode with Optimus, Sideswipe, Cliff Jumper, and Ironhide. And as you can see, it's not as much fun when you have them in alt modes together because he's just a big boombox and he can't really do anything or roll or anything like that. I've always said it would be neat if they had a small version of him whenever they sell a Blaster figure so he could put him somewhere like in the cars or on top of the cars or something. But this, well, there's not anything you could do about it, and there's never going to be anything you can do about it, so it's just what it is. All right, moving on. But for the comparison you guys want to see, here he is with Netflix Soundwave, and this is awesome. It only took him about a year to give us this, but hey, it was well worth the wait. Updated versions of Blaster and Soundwave together, cassettes and boombox. I love this. This is so cool, and they both can eject their tapes, or they could sit there with their tape things open, so that is cool. I have Ravage here. I love that. Okay, and that is your comparison. Moving on. And this has been the Transformers War for Cybertron Trilogy Kingdom Blaster. And I love Blaster. I always loved him in the cartoon. He was a great character, and this toy is just the same. It's great. We have needed an updated Blaster that transforms into an accurate boombox for so long, and I am so happy that Hasbro gave us one in the Kingdom line. Now this figure is going to be reissued in the Legacy line, so if you can't find him in the Kingdom box, just wait a couple of weeks or months or whenever it gets released, and you can see him in the Legacy collection. But anyway, as far as the figure goes, I love his articulation, his paint, his sculpt, mold, everything you look for in a character like this based on a cartoon is there. His transform is very simple, very easy to do, or intuitive as it were. And the accessories, he's got his gun, he's got eject. I like eject. He's little. I could have took him or left him. If you have eject, it kind of makes me wonder if you're going to get Steeljaw, Ramhorn, and Rewind. But, you know, I don't know if they'll be able to put those out somewhere, maybe in a little mini pack or core collection pack. I don't know. But yeah, this is a great figure. If you're a G1 fan, if you're a Transformers fan, or a Blaster fan, definitely want to pick this guy up. He is on the shelves right now at your local Targets, Walmarts, online retailers, and he ranges anywhere between the price of $30 to $35, depending on where you find him. So that is it, guys. That's the review on Blaster. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you have a good night. And until next time, keep playing.
Another day, another adventure.